Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for being here. And as always, a special thank you to every single one of you who has become a subscriber on Substack, Patreon, here on YouTube, or who has otherwise supported my work. I want you to know that I truly do appreciate every single one of you. I appreciate your support. Today, I would like to focus on a very controversial case, a case that is becoming a human rights issue for the Trump administration. What we're about to cover serves as an excellent example of how domestic immigration policies impact broader economic agenda. On September the 4th, a large-scale immigration raid took place in a Hyundai-LG electric vehicle battery plant under construction in Ellabell in the state of Georgia. It was conducted by ICE. The operation led to the detention of 475 foreign workers, including 317 South Korean citizens. What followed has quickly escalated into a growing diplomatic headache for the United States and a rare point of public tension in one of Washington's most important alliances, the United States-South Korea alliance. In an unusually strong statement, South Korea announced that it will investigate whether the United States violated human rights during the ICE raid. According to a spokeswoman for the South Korean presidential office, the government is reviewing, quote, whether there were issues related to our people's rights or discomfort. The fact that Seoul is publicly launching a probe into possible human rights violations by a close ally is remarkable on its own, but it's the context and consequences that are even more striking, I would say. Ironically, the raid came just weeks after South Korea agreed to invest over $350 billion into the United States as part of wider trade and industrial cooperation. So this is not only a diplomatic issue, it is a direct contradiction of U.S. economic goals. So first things first, what exactly happened? Let's quickly cover that. ICE claims that the detained South Korean workers were in the United States illegally or had overstayed or misused work visas. But eyewitness accounts paint a disturbing picture. Workers say that they were shackled, they were chained, yes, chained, and in some cases held in detention centers under truly inhumane conditions, such as they were forced to eat near open toilets, they were denied privacy, and in some cases, these plant workers were treated like violent criminals. There are even reports of workers hiding in air ducts and near sewage ponds to avoid capture. The raid was carried out by Homeland Security Investigations, which is a specialized arm of ICE. It seemed to have been swift, quite aggressive, and crucially, from what it appears to be, if you look at the footage, if you look at many videos and images, it appears to be deeply uncoordinated. South Korean officials say that they received no advance notice of the action, and the response back home was very swift. Public outrage in South Korea has put enormous pressure on President of South Korea, and he is now expected to stand up for the citizens. Now, before anybody says anything, national security here in the United States is our top priority. Of course it is. But putting plant workers in chains or shackles, keeping them in truly inhumane conditions is unacceptable. It is completely unacceptable. And also, this comes amid the Trump administration saying that they want to make America industrialized again. And this is how we treat foreign workers, how we treat experts in their field who come to help us fulfill that goal. There are many questions that should be answered. This is more than just a case of immigration enforcement gone wrong. This is a diplomatic blunder. The workers detained were helping to build a $5.5 billion electric vehicle battery facility. The facility is a joint project between Hyundai Motor Group and LG Energy Solution. It is the largest economic development project in Georgia's history. It is the largest economic development project in Georgia's history. It is a flagship investment from South Korea and also a core part of green manufacturing push. After this terrible incident, President Trump made a very rare concession. In a post on Truth Social, he actually expressed regret over how the ICE operation was handled. The tone of the post is very notable. It is a notable break from his usual hardline stance on immigration issues. Here's what he said. When foreign companies are building extremely complex products, I want them to bring their people of expertise to teach and train our people. I don't want to frighten off or disincentivize investment into America by outside countries. We welcome them and we're willing to proudly say we will learn from them. So it was a good post, a much-needed post, a much-needed acknowledgement of receiving knowledge transfer and foreign investment and being grateful for it. But this time, the backlash was so intense that even Trump had to take a step back. And why would that be? Well, it is because the raid didn't just disrupt the lives of 300 plus Korean nationals, it threatened to derail a strategically important bilateral relationship, and it also threatened to undermine massive foreign investment critical to U.S. economic interests. Many South Koreans, including academics and former diplomats, have actually questioned the United States visa framework. That is another aspect of this issue. What South Korea wants and what many businesses are calling for is reform. A real visa structure that actually allows trained, highly skilled workers to offer their expertise to enter the country and to build the facilities that American governors and the president are so eager to have. Georgia Governor Brian Kemp, for example, a Republican who's bet really big on foreign investment, especially in the EV space, was reportedly blindsided. Not only did he not know that the raid was going to take place, but Georgia state troopers were actually pulled into the operation by federal agencies. So that was a deeply embarrassing moment for Kemp and for the narrative that Georgia is, quote, open for business. Geopolitical analysts on both sides say that the situation is not going to permanently damage the U.S.-South Korea relations, but it is a major wake-up call. Both sides appear to want to resolve the matter very, very quickly, especially with shared interests in trade, in defense, and security cooperation in East Asia. But for now, this is a black eye on the alliance. On September the 17th, South Korea announced that it plans to continue its investigation into human rights abuses during the ICE raid, and if it finds that ICE violated international human rights standards or even its own protocols, it may push for formal diplomatic responses, and that could include demands for compensation, apologies, or policy changes. More broadly, the incident raises very difficult questions about how the United States balances immigration enforcement with foreign policy, especially in an era where domestic politics increasingly drives decisions that once fell squarely under the umbrella of diplomacy. The United States can't afford to send mixed signals if it wants to industrialize. You can't ask countries to build your future and then threaten them and then treat their citizens like violent criminals when they show up to do their job. So let's see what Washington learns from it. What are your thoughts on this incident? Let us know in the comments below. As always, I would love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this quick update, give this video a thumbs up, consider sharing it, and subscribe on YouTube. And I would also love to see you on my alternative social media platforms such as Substack, Patreon, and other ones that are listed in the description below. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you back here soon. Take care.